This episode is brought to you by Distill Union. Hi, everyone. This is Edgar, the host of Snug Wrestling. They design everyday carry gear with one simple idea: less, but better. From slim Wally wallets with magnetic closures to Ferris key organizers, they keep everything clean and quiet. Distill Union makes carrying your essentials effortless. Built from full-grain leather and backed by a 3-year warranty, simplify your carry and save 20% off with promo code SNUG at DistillUnion.com. That's 20% off with promo code SNUG at DistillUnion.com.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Snug Wrestling Thursday Night TikTok Live with me. My name is Edgar. I'm the host, and Mr. Blood himself is in the building. We got some fun topics for everybody today. We're going to talk about Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Bronson Reed, and we're going to read some comments along the way like we usually do. How's your little tummy feeling tonight, Blood?
Man, fuck you. Just because you're all lucky, unless you're hiding some random shit that started happening to you when you got into your 30s, man. I'm 32. You know, I was able to drink dairy and eat dairy without a fucking problem. I had no gluten issue until like 4 weeks after I turned 30. And last night, because I can't have gluten anymore, I made a protein pizza where the crust is made out of chicken, ground chicken. You got to put it all together. And I made the mistake by not thinking, and I put fucking shredded cheese in it. And now I do light cheese because I actually hate cheese. And I did light cheese on my pizza, extra sauce, and just a little bit of fucking cheese I put on that pizza. We're like 5 minutes into our fucking predictions podcast for Elimination Chamber. That is up on Apple and Spotify, by the way, if you haven't watched it. And my stomach fucking dropped, and I had to hightail it to the little Bloods room to to get some safe haven.
Oh, Mr. Blood's little tummy hurts. Oh, no, I'm just kidding, dog. I have the same issues because I'm also in my 30s, but with shrimp, with the shitty shrimp, man.
That's terrible. I'm from Florida, homie. I had shrimp and steak hibachi for dinner tonight with an appetizer of shrimp shumai.
Bro, I had shrimp pasta today, bro. My shit was fucked up, but it was worth it, dog.
I got to tell you, by the way, what do you call it?
Are you drunk?
No. This is mango juice. But no, I used to be I'm actually for those you don't know, I'm actually a master certified engraver, master class engraver. But I actually engraved this Turkish crystal glass many years ago. It's my glass.
What does that even mean?
That means I'm a master, engraving, engraving into metal. You take Dremels and you actually carve into like wood, and you carve into metal and glass. You engrave something.
Yeah.
To engrave, I engraved this glass with my M. But I married the one woman in Florida who hates fucking. Don't know how. One woman in Florida who hates shrimp. So when I make
is she allergic to it or something?
No, she just don't like it.
She's just a hater.
Legit, like when I make my jambalayas, I got to leave shrimp out. When I make a lot of my Asian dishes, a lot of my Thais and Japanese dishes, can't add fucking shrimp in it. When we go out to restaurants, like I took her to Red Lobster once, we had to walk out because all it was shellfish, and she hates shellfish, and we had to leave. I paid for the sodas and the fucking goddamn Cheddar Bay biscuits because I felt bad. I tipped the waiter. I had to take her to a different restaurant. We waited 10 minutes to sit down, and then she found out there was nothing on the menu but seafood.
Well, you know what they say, Mr. Blood.
No.
Me neither. I thought you were gonna say something after that.
I couldn't live without shrimp, homie. I get sushi at least 10 times a month.
I thought you were gonna say I can't live without my girl, but no.
Well, I could. I was alive before I met her. But no, it's I'm a diehard seafood guy. I was actually a pescatarian.
I love seafood, dog. I love.
Well, the last time I was still pro wrestling, I was a pescatarian for 2 years because that's how I used to diet to stay in shape. No red meats. Like the most I could have is like you can have like eggs, but you can't have actual chicken. Like you can't have full blown chicken. You can have the egg, the embryo, but like that's the closest you get. But it's only seafood for 2 years, even on cheat days, like got no beef, nothing, like no pork. And I remember the first time I had a cheeseburger after 2 years, it was like eating it for the first fucking time. So like me, someone who eats pounds of raw fish a month, I cannot imagine not having shrimp.
Yeah, dog. I love seafood, man. Have you ever tried the speaking of eggs, have you ever tried the balut or whatever? Have you ever had that? No.
Are you sure you're pronouncing it right? Because Baloo is the bear from the Jungle Book.
Balut or something like that. I think it's like something that they eat like in the Philippines a lot. It's basically the egg from the chicken, but with the baby chick still in it.
Oh God!
And they eat it. It's like it's supposed to be a delicacy.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
No,
I thought you would because you're like a chef.
Well, you know that I'm extremely like cultured with like Asian culture, but my like
apparently
Asian,
not,
like,
motherfucker. You haven't heard of balut
before? The three cultures of Asia that I'm extremely well versed in would be Thailand, China, and Japan. And I know how to cook a full Thai menu, a full Japanese menu, and like a quarter to a good third of a Chinese menu. But I literally have never. I don't think I've ever even had Filipino food.
I'm pretty sure it's like a Filipino thing, but I could be wrong. I know it's like some type of Asian thing. But yeah, I've seen it, never tried it, but I just thought, I don't know. I just thought of that right now because we were talking about food, but.
Well, before we actually talk about fucking wrestling for once in 8 minutes, shout out to K-Weave in the comments. That's my boy Kyle. Shout out. When are you going to make me and Sean some Japanese food? Sean's a fat ass. Kyle, you notice. To satiate Sean, I give him ribs, or he and I find the best places that we can in town that have buffalo fried chicken sandwiches.
Shout out to Sean. Don't let Mr. Blood call you a fat ass.
And shout out to Demon King Blood, my guy. Let's see. Can you IR can you speak in the Reddington accent? Only this once. Welcome to the Snug Wrestling Podcast, the Thursday night random or relevant wrestling topics. I'm your co-host, Mr. And this is the fearless leader of the podcast, Edgar. Welcome to Snug Wrestling.
Please be sure to double tap the screen, share the live, and all that good stuff, because at some point we are going to talk about wrestling tonight, because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the pro wrestling world, especially because it's WrestleMania season. We are less than 2 months away, like about a month.
6.5 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, so about a month and a half. My bad.
Yeah, yep.
So
18th and 19th of April.
Shit is going down, y'all. And by shit, I mean, seems like WrestleMania season, either after that, it's usually around the time where a lot of people get released, contracts expire, some people get renewed, others don't. And one of the major names that has been floating around when it comes to contracts expiring is Roman Reigns. Now, we did post about this earlier, and there seems to be I guess there was a little bit debate going on in our comment section about his contract expiring, which is being reported that Roman Reigns' contract is up after WrestleMania. I don't know if, usually after WrestleMania, Roman Reigns goes away, right, for a long time. But this time, it seems like it might be different. There hasn't been any news that Roman's contract has been renewed yet, but as of right now, the reports are going around that all this creative that's happening right now with Roman Reigns, a big factor of the decision-making into Roman's booking has to do with the fact that his contract is coming up in April after WrestleMania.
Here's the thing. So I do believe, if I remember correctly, I can't believe it's already been this long, because the COVID years are like one giant long, what feels like an extended 6-month period that lasted 2 fucking years. But I do remember vaguely him re-signing a 5-year deal in 21. Because he did return at, I think it was SummerSlam of 2020, when he speared Braun Strowman and interrupted that whole title match, and yada yada, came back with Paul Heyman. But it's crazy, right? Because we know that The only real things that are going to keep Roman around are going to obviously them coming to terms on two specific things. One, them still sticking with the dates that he wants to work or can work, the dates that he's able to, so he can limit his schedule. And two, money. Because at the end of the day, it is reported that the projected number that Roman Reigns makes annually, that's between his downside guarantee, his actual guarantee, the money he makes on merch. He does have in his contract, apparently, an actual cut of the gates whenever he's on a show. Not every show, but the shows he's on. You're talking about $15 million near there is the round number that Roman makes total across his entire deal annually for WWE. And that's not including what they pay him for guest appearances, promo work. He's got to go and do touring for, whatever events for signings. He gets paid for all that. And we also know that TKO is in, let's call it the extremely penny pinching phase. They are doing everything they fucking can to make $0.50. They don't care who it's at the expense of. They don't care who they're screwing over. They don't care who they're firing to make, more money to keep, reporting these maximized quarterly record profits. They don't give a shit. Do I think TKO is willing to let Roman walk out of the door versus giving him more money? I mean, $15 million a year to wrestle less than 4 to 5 times and only have maybe a year, like a total of 11 appearances is a really, really good fucking number of money. I don't know where Roman's head at. That man's got more money to burn than the U.S. Treasury Department. If it's me and I'm Roman, but again, this is just me, I'm going to re-sign because where else am I going to get a deal that fucking sweet? I'm not even honestly going to argue for more money if I'm Roman personally. For me, I'm just going to be like, keep my deal exactly the same. Sign me for another 3 years because he's getting close to 40. And I doubt he's going to want to be on another 5-year deal. I mean, what else is there for the man to do? What else can he possibly do in WWE? What other stories can you honestly stretch out with this guy for 5 more years? And when we look at the before I pass it back to you, when we look at the total overarching main event, guard, the guys, every single one of them is either in their 40s, about to be 40, or exiting their 40s very soon. Okay, you're talking CM Punk. I'm going to still put Damian Priest back there. CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. You look at these guys. These dudes are all in their 40s. In 5 years, none of them, maybe Drew, are going to be full-time wrestlers. Because in 5 years, CM Punk's in his 50s, Cody's in his late 40s, Damian is in his 50s. You keep looking at that number. Who the fuck wants to do it that long? Roman doesn't have to anymore. And if he transitions fully into Hollywood, why would I want to be hamstrung to a 5-year deal with a company when they might try to book me for some shit when I want to film something else and I don't feel like flying back and forth from shows to a movie set over and over again to deal with the John Cena schedule? I ain't trying to do that.
Shout out to Shadow Kings. What's up, Snug? What's up, Blood? Thanks for all your likes. Keep on double tapping the screen. So, yeah, I saw these reports from Roman Reigns' contract expiring after Mania a few weeks ago, but I didn't pay it too much attention until I saw it again pop up. And I was like, okay, maybe this is serious. So I got this article from Wrestling World. This is a story by Newman Rasul. And this article raised a lot more questions than answers because they're saying in this article that a lot of interesting things. They're saying that Roman's contract is expiring after WrestleMania in April. So they're like, the WWE is doing all these changes in Roman's creative and the dates that he's showing up, and they're pretty much cramming the best stories and everything and matches for Roman Reigns before his contract expires because they haven't renewed a contract for Roman yet. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're talking like April is 2 months away. Like, how many fucking matches or dates can Roman possibly have in the next 2 months? That's my next question. Like, what are
He's
they
not going to
like,
have any. He's not having any other matches in the next 2 months. The Monday before last, because they did it with Roman before they did it with Brock. They literally dropped all of Roman's dates on Monday Night Raw from now until WrestleMania. He's appearing like 6 or 7 times between now and Mania. In March next month, we're going to see him nearly every single week from March. From that point in March to Mania, we're going to see him nearly every week. They dropped his dates online. They're actually public. You might be able to find them. And legitimately, I can see them trying to get as much out of him as possible to maximize that gate at Mania, especially with that 19% drop from last year that they're currently sitting in. They're like 17,000 tickets down per night from where they were last year. So they're going to try to get as many asses in seats by using his name to do it. And look, it's WWE calling it a chit on his contract. Hey, look, we give you this part-time schedule. We give you 4 fucking months off at a goddamn time. And right now, we need you to show up every fucking week of next month and most of the month after. Even if your contract's over, we're going to use you because we give you more than enough leeway, more than enough time off. We barely book you in anything because you're never goddamn here. We still call you the greatest, biggest wrestler in our industry. And we pay you a fuck ton of money annually. So we're going to put you on every fucking show in March and April. And either you resign or you don't. But if you don't, we're going to use the shit out of you. And if you do, we're going to use the shit out of you. So the way I see it, I think Roman resigns. I don't see him signing another 5-year deal unless it's an extremely part-time schedule in the last 3 years or so. I do see him signing. I'd say I could see him signing a 3-year, but for the same money or more and for the same amount of limited dates.
Shadow King mentions Bronson Reed's injury. We are going to talk about Bronson Reed here in a bit. That's a good question. They also say, are you still doing that interview with John Cena?
That is the plan for Mania. I have been putting quite a bit of cash aside for it. Most of the revenue I'm making this month off of my TikTok channel is going towards, I've already bought my tickets for the show and my wife's. So I have the money already being made for the John Cena meet and greet, where I'm hoping I can do a video with him, at least ask him 1 or 2 questions for the show, maybe get him to say our intro if he is able to. Fuck, if I pay you $200 goddamn dollars, don't tell me you can't do it. I'm right here and I waited in line. And yeah, meeting Daphne Keane, actress who plays X-23. So extremely excited.
Yeah. So when it comes to back to Roman now, where do you land on this? Because, you mentioned that you believe Roman Reigns is going to re-sign with the WWE. And it seems like the reports are saying that the WWE hasn't extended an extension to Roman just yet, but the WWE might still see Roman Reigns as a big major player for the company in the future, in the next years, meaning that most likely WWE will offer Roman an extension, right? Because it's Roman Reigns. However, some of the debate that was going around in our comment section, some people are feeling like, let him go. The WWE doesn't need Roman Reigns anymore. Obviously, some people are like, what do you mean? Roman Reigns is one of the biggest needle movers in the company. But is he really? He's not really there a whole lot. So at this point in time, in the year of 2026, do you think the WWE would be better off? Not better off without Roman, but they can manage without Roman Reigns at this point. What do you think?
I saw some of the same comments on my side of the screen. Let me put it to you this way. WWE does not need any one talent. They just don't. Okay. The company still does record profits, record gates throughout the year, even when Roman isn't on fucking 80% of the shows. So it's not like they absolutely need him to make bank. They don't. Because Cody, massive draw. Punk, massive draw. And they're both on the weekly show. But when it comes down to it, Roman is, and you can kiss my ass on this because it's the truth, Roman is the biggest draw in all of modern day professional wrestling.
More than Cody?
He's the biggest box office name in pro wrestling. He is the guy, the man, the face. When you think of the last 5 years of professional wrestling, the last 6 years of professional wrestling, he is the first face you usually think of. And then after that, Cody. They are the main, biggest top two dudes of the last 6 years. Even when Cody was in AEW, his name was massively compared. When we are talking about modern day box office success, I am talking, there has not been anybody as big a box office draw as Roman. And the last guy to be a draw that was a regular person, a regular mainstay on WWE TV before him, probably not since fucking, if I'm going to be honest with you here, probably Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because,
I want to give a quick shout out real quick, Blood, to K Weave says the biggest box office, agreed, but it's time to have a new face. Who do you think should be the new face? I got this one, Blood.
Well, we have
got to be
face.
My boy, Kit Wilson. No, I'm just
Kit Herpes Wilson. But let's put it this way. You can even argue that Roman became a bigger box office draw than John Cena. Because you also have to realize that John Cena was the face of the company during one of the worst periods of the company of the last 25 years, the massive PG era that graded on majority of the audience's patience, pushed half the audience away for many years and lapsed so many fucking fans. And when it comes down to it, John Cena was a massive success. What he was able to accomplish in his day for that era, people don't understand how hard he had to work. But the prices were down, the revenues were down, the viewership was down, the gates were down, the stadium attendances were down. When it comes to fucking Roman Reigns, the only reason attendance and gate was down when Roman became the face was COVID. It had nothing to do with anything the company did or WWE. It was lockdown and social distancing and no live attendances. The moment they came back, they were selling fucking out all the time. SmackDowns, PLEs. He was a part of and headed up the greatest story in pro wrestling in the last 20 years. Period. A saga of magnetic fucking proportions.
Yeah, but that was years ago, though. What about now?
No, that wasn't. That ended 2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago. But what about now?
Homie, you realize that the majority of beginning of last year and all of 2024, when that story was still going on, and 23, every fucking month, every show, every PLE, they were reporting record gates, record profits, sellout after sellout after sellout. Last year and the year before, they went on like, what was it? Like it was like a 30-something week goddamn streak of sellouts. Weeks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like, not shows, weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They were selling out Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown consistently for over half a year.
Yeah.
That's with the ticket prices going up 420% from 3 years ago. In that time frame, even though the prices kept going up, they kept posting and selling out. That's exactly why WWE is so greedy about the tickets now, because they saw how much money they had been making, and they're like, we don't want to lose that. We can let's make it go up higher.
So Blood,
they are willing to use Roman as much as they fucking can. I do not see them being willing to let him go when he is the biggest star in the industry.
So let's assume that the WWE, obviously they know about this, contract expiring at Mania, reportedly, right? And the WWE said, okay, because Roman's contract is expiring after Mania, we want his final match for this contract to be versus CM Punk. Let's make that happen. Let's put Roman Reigns, let's make him win the Rumble so we can get CM Punk versus Roman Reigns before Roman leaves or whatever, right? Do you think that would be the best match for Roman as a final match? Or is there like anyone else that you would have rather seen if Roman Reigns, for whatever reason, decides, I'm not going to re-sign with the WWE?
Yeah, the match that was originally planned. Seth versus Roman. That was the original plan. Seth versus Roman for the World Heavyweight Championship was the original plan as far back as fucking November. Okay?
Yeah,
actually, no, October. October. And I wanted to see it because they have so much history. The last title match they had against each other was at the Royal Rumble like 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, when Seth comes down to the ring in the Shield gear trying to antagonize Roman.
That was 4 years ago? Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
remember, Seth didn't beat Roman, and Roman didn't beat Seth because it ended with Roman getting himself disqualified because he had to beat the shit out of Seth with a chair to exorcise his demons. So we never got to see a conclusive end to that fucking match.
I completely forgot about that, bro.
but that was height of the bloodline stuff.
Yeah.
So I have always wanted to see them finally put this to bed. I wanted to see them put it to bed in some really dramatic, really well told story. Because with these two, with this, people don't realize WWE changed. Two massive events occurred that caused WWE to get on the course that it is now. The first one was the pipe bomb promo. It just changed things. It gave the boys and girls in the back a new set of guts and a new set of balls to start standing up for themselves. And two, the breakup of the Shield.
I thought you were going to say Janelle Grant.
No, the breakup of the Shield. What those guys were able to do in a 2-year span was so impactful that when that faction broke up, when Seth put the chair in Roman's back, it put these three on a fucking path that literally made all three of them main events and the top of the card across both companies of AEW and WWE. And when it comes down to it, it was so impactful. Those three guys changed the industry. Even with Jon Moxley and AEW, Jon Moxley contributed to changing the industry in a different fucking company because of the magnitude and star power he was able to create and have and foster in WWE with those two guys. Because the very next stories that come out of the Shield is Seth's rise to power, WWE Championship, Intercontinental or a United States Championship double title holding, involved in the Authority, main event, fucking the very next year, Roman goes to Mania against Brock for the heist of the century cash-in, and every story that goes from there led to the bloodline story. Remember, Roman was the monster that Seth created, turns him heel. Now he's the bloodline. That becomes the biggest story of the modern fucking day wrestling, the wrestling world. It is the story of the last fucking 15 years. That then helps build every other star that came in contact with that story. Those people go on to become main events themselves. Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, all the people who benefited from just being in Roman's orbit. So when it comes down to it, I think he's the most important professional wrestler of the last 15 years, for sure. It took 15 years to get here, but hey, Vince, the experiment worked. And when it came down to it, yeah, you give that guy the money that he asks for because he's proven that he can draw you 15 times more money than the 15 million you're paying him.
Yeah,
so when it comes down to it, yeah, I think he's a necessity to WWE, and I think they know it, and they probably hate to admit it.
I think that match, Roman and Seth, would have probably happened if Seth didn't get injured, I think.
100%.
Maybe.
That was, well, they were, here's the thing. So it was the original plan. They were hoping that Seth was not going to be as bad as it was. But then it turned out he had to have surgery. Then it turned out it was going to be, like 4 months he'd be out. Now, how do you build a story in 2 fucking weeks for WrestleMania? Because rumors are he's coming back like a week or two ahead of Mania. Because he was then supposed to face Braun Breaker when they had to pivot and turn them heel against him. And then he's coming back as a face. So they said, well, fuck. He's injured. Okay, fuck. Now we got, okay, let's, who's the big star? Punk. Now Punk's trying to help build division. Then all of a sudden, Braun gets injured. Okay. Next, Bronson. He gets injured. So now, so many things that happened. You had to move Punk and you had to move Roman opposite of each other because that is now the biggest fucking match for that. And that the company can make. There is no bigger match in the company right now that you can put on than those two against each other because of the injuries, because of all the pivoting. I would love to see Roman versus Seth again. I would have loved to have seen it at Mania, especially, let's just say, hypothetically, he doesn't resign. I believe he's 100% going to resign. Again, who the fuck is going to part-time that easy, only work a few dates a year, come, hang out, enjoy yourself, get flown all over the world for free, and then still make fucking 15 mil, fucking rumored profit from his entire deal? I'm taking that fucking deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. This is why I didn't really bring this up, or I didn't think this was such a big deal up until now when I first saw it a few weeks ago, because I'm like, it's Roman Reigns. Like, the WWE is going to keep using Roman as long as the people keep chanting OTC and throwing the ones up in the air, because no matter what you want to say about Roman Reigns, there's a lot of older fans that don't like Roman. He's a part-timer. He's a 2-3 trick pony, whatever. His matches suck. There's still a really big fan base. Even like the Cody crybabies. There's a lot of Cody fans, no matter what the IWC says about him or Jey Uso. They have a lot of haters, but just how they have a lot of haters, there's a lot of fans that love them. And as long as there's those fans, the WWE is going to keep giving them Roman Reigns. So I'm not worried about. Yeah, I'm not worried about.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not worried about Roman Reigns not re-signing. The WWE is going to keep using Roman Reigns until Roman Reigns decides, kind of like AJ done. Styles.
Yeah,
I'm done. This is it. Like, I don't want to keep doing this shit no more.
That's what people don't understand. You can feel how you want to feel as a fan. That is your right as a fan. You pay your money, you tune in, you support the show, feel however you want to feel. But feelings have no place in business. And for those people who are like, well, I'm done with Roman, let's move him on, yada, yada. He's a 3-trick pony. I got 2 fucking words for you. Hulk Hogan, the one-trick pony of all one-trick ponies in WWE. Yet he is the very reason we are all here today, because without him, professional wrestling never makes it into the mainstream. And he drew so much fucking money all over the world and continued to do so for the next 3 decades. WWE, despite his racist antics, his controversies, the shit that he said, they would constantly do whatever they could to bring him back over and over and over. Remember when they kicked him out of the Hall of Fame for the racist rant that he went on about his daughter and the boyfriend? All that shit came out the trial. Excommunicado for like 2-3 years. And just when they realized people moved on from it, they snuck him back in and started advertising again, having him appear on shows. Hey, I'm standing next to Titus O'Neil on the stage of WrestleMania now. Forgive me. It's because business first for a business. He was such a draw. They would have done whatever the fuck it took to get Hulk to play ball. And Vince always did historically, would bend the fucking knee to that guy if it meant he would make him $2 extra more than he did at the last show. It's the same thing with Roman. He's too big of a star, too much of a draw for the company to let go without a fight. He's probably the one guy that they would go, what's it going to take, Roman?
Oh, yeah.
What's it going to take?
Yeah, they're going to keep throwing money at Roman Reigns until Roman Reigns is like, okay, I'm done. Like John Cena did. John Cena could have kept taking money from the WWE. AJ Styles could have kept doing it. But I want to switch gears here, because now that we're talking about AJ Styles, that's the next thing that I want to talk about, because we saw the farewell tribute show that they did for AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw recently. Yeah.
Well, before we start, just a couple of shout outs here in the comments. Shout out to Kyle Weaver, who asked the question, because we were talking about people that Roman had made. Whatever happened to Kevin Owens? For those of you who don't know, Kevin Owens went out with a major spinal neck injury, and he had to have surgery last summer, and he might be out for up to a year or year and a half, because it was a fusion he had to have. So that's just to answer if you're wondering where Kevin Owens is.
Yeah, man. We got a funny comment on one of our TikTok videos. I don't know if they were being serious or not, or if they were joking, but it was like the Kofi Kingston versus Javon Evans match. We have a clip on it on our TikTok, and someone was like, "I haven't watched WWE in a while. What happened to Big E?" And I'm like, "Man, bro,
God,
yeah, I'm not gonna be the one to break it to you, dog.
It's
I'm
nothing.
Sorry.
He retired the way he wanted to, and got to ride off into the sunset, and he went on happily and healthily because ignorance sometimes is bliss, and I wish I could trade places with you and not know what I do know about what happened to Big E. That poor, lovable guy.
Yeah. So yeah, AJ Styles, he decided he's done. He's retired from wrestling and wants to focus on his family. Good on him. We saw the tribute episode they did for him. So right after, I think this was last night, AJ Styles was on the podcast with the Good Brothers. I believe they have a podcast on YouTube, which is Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, I believe was their WWE name. And also Frankie Kazarian was on that podcast with special guest AJ Styles. AJ Styles did them a huge favor by, being a guest on their show right after their retirement from Monday Night Raw, where AJ Styles talked about a lot of interesting things, like the reason why he retired, his future in and out of wrestling, and also talked about AEW, pretty much confirming that, no, I'm not going to go to AEW, no matter what fans want to say that, oh, the WWE put me on the Hall of Fame, so I won't go to AEW. AJ Styles pretty much said, no, I'm retired from wrestling. Like, I'm done with wrestling. I'm not going to go to AEW, not because I'm in the Hall of Fame. I'm just not going to go over there. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to be in the ring anymore. So there's no point in going to AEW.
I love when wrestling fans think they know better for the wrestler than the wrestler knows for themselves, as if it's not their life or anything or their decisions or choices. Guys, you can fantasy book all you want, but don't sit here and act like someone's decisions are stupid or that a company failed or let someone down when someone made their own conscious decision to wrap it up. Because AJ literally made it plain as day. He quashed the AEW rumors quite plainly. He said, guys, I need to spend time with my kids. I want to be a dad. I spent so much time on the road. I have missed every fucking event you can miss as a father. Games, birthdays, anniversaries, deaths, births. Like, he's like, dude, he's like, I spent so much time chasing my dream. My wife spent the majority of my career at home raising our kids while I watched them grow up through fucking FaceTime. That's something he said on Raw. So if you guys don't believe he's not retired, that's fine. But give the guy the honor and courtesy of believing that he went out on his own terms the way he wanted. And in his own words and Natalia's words, he beat the house. Beating the house in his words and in Natty's words earlier today when she explained it on Busted Open Radio.
What did the house do to AJ Styles? That's fucked up.
No, so what it is that Natalya has a book where she referenced beating the house, and AJ took an excerpt of that when he was on their podcast. Beating the house, according to Natalya, when she wrote it in her book and she was talking to David LaGreca on Busted Open Radio, she said it means when you leave this business not broke and not broken, you have beaten the house. Because it's so hard for a wrestler to not only wrap up on their own terms, but leave the business with their pockets full, their bank accounts filled, and their spirit isn't shattered. They're not disillusioned. They aren't fucking burnt out. They don't hate their career. It's very rare that you see the John Cenas and the AJ Styles ride off into the fucking sunset content, the Shawn Michaels of the world.
Not only content, but like physically happy. Okay, and still be able to walk and shit,
Keep in mind, he just had an injury a year and 4 months ago. Right after his story with Cody Rhodes, right after he had turned heel again, he got injured right after that story finished. Dude is almost 50. If I'm him, I'm not trying to push my fucking luck because the universe has been very gracious in keeping me standing upright at 50 years old when all I do for a living is slam my body into a mat for 20 years.
Yeah.
He's lucky he can walk standing upright at this point.
So that was another thing.
He got out.
that was another thing that AJ Styles talked about on this this podcast interview, which I wish I remember the name, but I don't. But maybe someone in the comments can tell us what the name of the podcast. If they want to go and listen to the full interview, we have some clips of it on our socials as well. But he's still going to be working for the WWE.
Yeah,
AJ Styles confirmed that he is going to be working with the future up-and-coming talents to help them out, to make them feel welcome, to teach them. And he didn't say it, but I believe it was Luke Gallows said it. Oh, now that you're going to be working in NXT, you're going to be working with Shawn Michaels, some of the people that, are in the Performance Center, they're going to be learning from the best, Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles, right?
What a team.
But it sounded like AJ Styles has a pretty sweet deal here because, he's talking about, I get to be home with my family, but he's also talking about working on NXT, which means he can go into the Performance Center and help whenever he wants. I don't know if that's really the case, but
I don't know if he lives in Florida or if he's still in Georgia because he's from Gainesville, Georgia, not Florida. But because there's a Gainesville in both states. But I mean, the way I see it, to me, he is what I always hoped my favorite wrestlers would get to aspire to be and do. Have a fantastic career, go into the Hall of Fame, go out on their own terms, and then turn around and teach the next generation because all that knowledge, all that know-how, all that experience being given to this generation of all new athletes, many who are being trained from the ground up in pro wrestling from WWE because they've never been a pro wrestler outside of WWE on the indies. They're coming in from football or gymnastics or the Olympics, and they get to come in here and they're not learning from some random fucking trainer no one's ever heard of. No, they're being trained in the ring by the Natalias and the Undertakers who come in for training spots, the soon to be AJ Styles, but they're also sitting under the learning tree of wealth and knowledge of the Shawn Michaels, the AJ Styles, the fucking Undertakers, the Booker T's, the Natalias, the Trish Stratuses. Like, do you not understand? This is the most fortunate, soon to be fortunate generation of up and coming wrestlers out of NXT ever. Look at who they're learning from. It's incredible. And I'm glad that he is getting to do this because he has so much left to give. But just because you're a wrestler, in-ring work is not all you have to give. All that experience and time and knowledge and wealth, it's up here. It's up here. And somebody is going to get that benefit of that fucking direct shot to that well of AJ Styles at NXT here within just a couple months. I couldn't be happier for him. And I could not be more excited to see who the fuck is coming up under AJ Styles.
I hope that they can convince him to produce some of the show down there on NXT, man, because AAA has been so much fun now that Undertaker has been working with them, producing their shows over there. So if we can get AJ Styles to add his little touch of magic to the NXT product, man, not just training the wrestlers, but also in the TV show, I would like to see how that would look, But yeah, man, awesome. It's cool that thanks for the follow, the future tribal chief of WWE. Keep double tapping the screen, keep on commenting. You got any comments over there, Blood, before we switch gears?
Let's see. The future tribal chief, how are you guys doing today? I'm doing well. How are you doing, Snug?
Good. Had to think about it.
All right. Let's see. I don't have any glaring questions, but I do have, let's see. Let's see. How do you say this name? Eamon Selby 563 says, the hooded figure story just got shifted because of Bronson's injury.
Yes, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. That's the next topic that we have planned here. But yeah.
Segway.
Those were the major talking points when it came to this AJ Styles podcast that came out last night. But yeah, man, someone brought it up earlier too. A lot of people are wondering about Bronson Reed's injury and all that stuff. It's such bad timing, bro, for not just us fans, but for them. It looked like Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, that were finally going to get their big break at WrestleMania. This is going to be their year. And then the fucking bad luck of the injury bug hit them right in WrestleMania season. But
extreme hernia surgery and now a distal bicep tear on Bronson,
which I believe I think they already said that he is going to need surgery, Bronson Reed, which is going to take like 4 to 6 months to heal.
It's 4 to 6 months because they got to cut him open. What happens when the bicep tears is the muscle detaches off the tendon completely and it fucking rolls up like a tape measure inside your arm. So on TV on Monday, when we saw him look down at his arm, it's because he literally looked and felt the bicep tuck and curl itself upward, going up his arm. It's a shitty thing, man. It's a shitty fucking injury because it's the same type of injury of a different type, but it's the same kind of injury that CM Punk had twice, which was when he tore his triceps. Same thing, detaches from the tendon, rolls up like a fruit roll-up bar, just tightens itself up and rewinds where it's not supposed to. And it's months, and it sucks, and it hurts, and it's a lot of rehab.
Yeah, we thought it was bad when Braun Breaker got injured, man. But, you know, Braun Breaker got injured, and then we were like, well, you know, Bronson Reed is still there. Austin Theory's still there. Logan Paul's still there. They still got something going with the vision. Bronson Reed gets injured, and immediately everything changed from that match that he got injured to the finish. And then from there, it goes to, okay, what happens to the vision now? And then now it's like, is the vision even going to continue? What happens with the mask, man? The injury from Braun Breaker was terrible, but this injury for Bronson Reed, it just changes everything, dog. And I know you posted, you put out a video about this, I believe earlier today, man. Yesterday about this. And it's just like, man, like the WWE are really going crazy right now, trying to rewrite everything, right? It seems like
there's literally only two things that can save this. And I got to be honest, man, I don't even know. There were reports saying that Braun Breaker was going to be back in time for Mania. There were also reports saying that Seth Rollins was absolutely supposed to be back in time for Mania. And they were originally setting up Braun Breaker versus Seth at Mania. Seth would be the masked man. Now, of course, Braun gets injured. So they probably had to pivot to who the masked man is now. Then Bronson Reed gets injured. And it's just like, dude, the only way you save this is if Braun and Seth can both get back simultaneously at the same time, still have their match. The problem is you don't have a lot of time to build it. Sure, you can go off of, you speared me, 3-4 fucking months ago and turned on me by vision. But at the same time, if they're both cleared to go a week ahead of Mania or 2 weeks ahead of Mania, we're only going to get 2 weeks of build for the Mania match itself. And though it's going to be like, great, thank God they're both back, the vision story can continue even if Bronson's out. Braun Breaker can lead Logan and Austin Theory. But here's a third problem. What the fuck do they do between now and that hypothetical return of both men? What story are they just going to spin their wheels and hope to God that both guys get back on time to build at least 2 to 3 weeks of a story? Because checks notes, Mania's in 6.5 weeks. If they're not back within 3, both of them, 4 at the max, dude, what do you do to keep fans invested in that story? Because then when we get to the Mania, they're gonna be like, oh, these two are having a match. I mean, it's cool and all. Would have really been nice to have like a month and a half story build to this to get more and more invested in the drama. But I guess it's here.
And it also depends too on the recovery, because that was one of the things it was so hard to believe for a lot of fans. Like, nah, this can't happen again, right? 2 members of the same faction back to back. And, at this time, people were like, this has to be a work. This can't be real. But no, the WWE quickly confirmed that that was not part of the script, that this is legit. And they have WWE haven't said, you know, when Bronson Reed will be back. Obviously, it's too soon to tell, probably. But also depends. It also depends on the recovery, because a lot of the times what happens, what the WWE does, you know, if it's a really risky surgery or a very sensitive injury, you know, they want to play it safe. And even though the person may be cleared, they still want to give it a little bit more time just to be safe, you know?
Yeah, they usually, what happens is you'll go in for your original initial doctor's appointment for a diagnosis, because the WWE doc will give you a light prognosis. Then you'll go to the appointments they set up for you, because they do pay for your doctors, they do pay for your surgeries, they do pay for all that stuff with WWE. That is a good thing about their actual medical situation, that they do pay for all the rehab, the surgeries, everything. I think that's a great thing that company does. However, they're going to send you to Stanford, then they're going to send you to another doctor that they have in the Mideast, here in the country, the middle of the country here, and then you get your surgery date. Then you have the surgery. Then you go through rehab about a month and a half or so out of the surgery, because they have to let your body get up to the task of rehab. And then after rehab and months, you're like, I'm ready to go back. Oh no, because now you've got to repass impact training to make sure that your body can hold up to it. You got to go through impact testing. And then if all that's great, now they got to find a place on the show randomly in the year to reinsert you back in.
Do you think this is a perfect opportunity to push Austin Theory now that both Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are out?
When one door closes, another one opens, brother. Absolutely. As much as I hate that it happened to these guys, Austin Theory was going to be playing second fiddle to them for a while, until it might potentially, hypothetically, have been revealed that he was in fact a sleeper agent for Seth. Just someone coming in to weed his way into the faction, help destroy it from the inside out. But now I'm wondering if they're going to change those plans and have Austin be an agent for Seth at all. With Bronson and Braun both out, that's something you got to wait to pull the trigger on.
Yeah.
Because you want that turn from Austin, if it is the plan, that is, hypothetically, of course, we're speaking here. You got to wait till everybody, at least Braun Breaker's back, you know, because that's got to really mean some shit. So now I wonder if you're going to push Austin Theory as the big breakout star of the Vision and really put your wheels on him. I mean, Logan's already a massive star. You've got to put work in on Austin. So,
yeah,
you know,
I think they both have to step up.
They're going to both have to step up, but Austin Theory, in my opinion, is the more solid wrestler. He's the actual real wrestler of the two, the one that's, you know, the veteran of the two. And at the end of the day, I think it's sink or swim. I mean, I listened to Paul Heyman on a podcast, the Busted Open podcast the other day. I listened to him put fucking Austin Theory over like crazy. He said,
good.
He literally said, Austin Theory is Shawn Michaels when Shawn Michaels was in the Rockers.
Wow.
He said he has every tool to succeed. He just has a couple of things to figure out. And other than that, he said he is going to be top of the company one day. Well, put your money where your mouth is, Paul, because you're a part of the creative team, according to Unreal, and make sure they push this fucking kid. But then you need to protect him while you're pushing him so they don't book him in stupid shit.
Yeah. Because the reason I say that Austin Theory and Logan Paul have to step it up, it's because they're literally one of the main storylines on Monday Night Raw, the biggest faction on Monday Night Raw. With everything that they're involved in, I don't think WWE could just be like, well, we can't have the Vision on TV anymore until Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed come back.
Fuck that. I think I have a better solution. Because we don't know if Braun and Seth are coming back, we don't know if that's up in the air. We don't know if they are going to make it back before Mania, even though reports were saying that they were reportedly going to. Let's just say hypothetically that isn't the case. You make them a tag team, but a serious tag team, because you keep booking them strong. And here's one. You have them take the titles off the Usos on a random Raw or whatever. I don't fucking care. Make it the main event. Make it a great main event. Have them take the tag titles off the Usos and go to Mania with the tag titles for a rematch or something. Or Seth comes back and he has a mystery partner. I don't give a fuck.
Or Brock Lesnar can lead him.
But when Brock's got his own story going into Mania. So, but when it comes down to it, and trust me, I think if Brock Lesnar could fucking be depended on to appear on weekly goddamn TV, I'd say let him become the face of the faction because his star power will elevate them. People will pay attention when he's on screen. But since that's not going to happen and because he can't talk for shit, it's funny that Braun Breaker has been in the business for a quarter of the time Brock Lesnar has, and he cuts 10 times the promo Brock Lesnar can. But when it comes down to it, man, you got to do something to keep these two strong. So I think either have them take the titles off the Usos or have them feud with the Usos going into Mania for a story to keep them in people's eyes on TV, keep their momentum going, and have them beat the Usos at Mania for those tag titles.
Yeah,
while we're waiting to see what else happens. You got to give them something to give the credence into their credibility. You got to do something. I am not upset if Jay and Jimmy drop the tag titles to Austin Theory and Logan Paul at Mania. I think it's a great place for them to drop it. And it also gives Logan and Theory a Mania win in a championship match.
Shout out to Big Papa K, who pretty much said what you said. They might as well win the tag team titles anyway. Jimmy is going to be gone anyway once Naomi gives birth.
Yeah, he'll probably take a month or two off while she settles into being a mom. You can't just have can't just leave your fucking newly birthed child at home and your wife by herself alone with you on the road when she might be going through postpartum or something. Like, he's going to want to be there and spend time with them and help her settle into a schedule. So if you're going to probably split them temporarily anyway, obviously it's easy. Jay goes back into the singles division for a little while. That's fine. I don't think people are going to bat an eye at that. And you can tell some stories with him. Maybe here's one. Maybe Seth tries to recruit Jay and goes, "Hey, I'm sorry for what I did to you. I was wrong. I need your help. Help me destroy the vision I created." Something like that. You could get Jay involved in that. That'd be fine while Jimmy's down. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I guess we'll
find
find out.
A good story I'd like anyway. I'd like that story. Seth having to grovel at the feet of the people he attacked and beat down to help him destroy another monster of his own making. One being Roman Reigns and the other being the Vision.
Yeah, well, I will find out what's going to happen with the Vision this Monday, most likely, after the Elimination Chamber this weekend. It's going to be interesting, man, but hopefully they give us something. They give us a tease or something that gives us an idea of what to expect from the Vision moving forward. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, that is what we got to look forward to. We have Elimination Chamber this weekend. We did predictions last night. They're out now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Go check them out, where we predicted all of our winners and outcomes and reviewed the storylines, the build-up going into Elimination Chamber. It was some fun stuff. And this weekend, are we going to review Elimination Chamber after the Chamber or on Sunday?
I'd like to do it as quick as possible, probably Saturday.
All right. Well, we'll plan for that. And for now, we will be back tomorrow after Friday Night SmackDown. And thanks to everyone who liked and commented and shared. And let's get out of here.
Thank you guys for kicking it with us. As always, that was the Thursday night 1 hour random or relevant topics live stream with myself, Mr. Blood, and Edgar, the host of Snug Wrestling. And if you guys love hanging out with us, you can do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after Raw, NXT, and SmackDown go off the air respectively for live post-show reviews live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as on Apple and Spotify during and after. In case you missed the show, you can go to YouTube, Apple, and Spotify to catch those episodes. And of course, you can catch us here every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and 8 o'clock Central for 1 hour random or relevant wrestling topics, where we'll also answer your fan questions live. And of course, guys, mark your calendars, because after Elimination Chamber this Saturday, when the show goes off the air, within 20 minutes after the show, we're going live with a post-show review, because thank God the fucking European tour is over and we got a regularly scheduled 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, at least, start time to a PLE But yeah, other than that, guys, until next time, stay safe, stay savage, stay snug. And also, there was a brand new Blood Drop episode that just came out right before we went live here. The real problem with WWE's 2K26. See you next time.